Coach Borrego, it's a pleasure. We finally get to have this conversation. We appreciate you, man. How are you?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. How's Vegas outside of the basketball? I mean, are you able to enjoy it at all?
Well, it's warm. It's crowded. But you know what? There's some good food here. A lot of NBA. But, yeah, I've been here in Vegas many, many times. So I know this place well. And after a couple of days, I think I got my fill. But it's good to be here with the guys and, watch them play and enjoy a good meal, here throughout the week.
You've been an interim head coach before, but you were handed the keys to this organization, from the coaching standpoint several weeks ago. And we've been talking about you quite a bit. But from a personal standpoint, before we talk about the personnel and your system and all that, how about you? I mean, you were the head coach of the Charlotte Hornets. How's this journey been for you so far?
It's been great. I mean, the city's embraced us. The organization has been great. We're thrilled to be here. And it's just been a lot of work. It's just been a lot of work, putting a staff together, getting to know these players. But it's been a joy. It's been a dream. So we look forward to it. My family will, join me in Charlotte here over the next week or so. And but it's been a great journey so far.
All right, let's dive right in, man. And, I know Mike Cristaldi's standing right next to you. So if I ask something off color, just hang up real quick. So, but let me ask you about let me ask you about Tony Parker. That is a fascinating move to me, James, because as you well know, Tony's 36. He's played in the NBA for 17 years. He's a 4-time champ, a 6-time All-Star. There's not a whole lot to dislike about Tony Parker, except for the fact that he's got a lot of mileage on him, and he only played 55 games last year. I think it makes sense because, and tell me if I'm wrong here, you're trying to lay the foundation of a culture, and Tony Parker can help you do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to bring a 4-time NBA champion into our locker room, 6-time All-Star, a guy that's won at a high level, is going to be a Hall of Famer someday. To bring that into our locker room is just invaluable. I mean, I'm thrilled for our guys to learn from him. We identified a guy, that had experience, a player that our guys could learn from, someone that still has basketball left in his body. I'm expecting him to play minutes behind Kemba, play with Kemba at times. Yes, so. Just to add his winning DNA, the versatility of what we can do with him, to play with Kemba, to close games with him, is just a luxury for me as a first-time head coach. So I'm going to put a lot of pressure on Tony, both in the locker room, on the court, and he's more than capable of delivering. But I think it's a big move for us. We're excited. I know our players are excited. I know Kemba Walker, Malik Monk are thrilled to have him join our group.
So how does he impact the guard rotation? What can he do for a kid like Devonte Graham, especially who, look, I agree with the organization. I was there on draft night at the Spectrum Center, and we got the explanation from Mitch where he said, we had a first-round grade on this kid. I loved Devonte Graham coming out of Kansas, and I think he's got a lot of potential, and it seems like he's shown you a little bit of that. But speak to that and how Tony can help him.
Well, I mean, every single day to sit next to Tony Parker, just pick his brain, how do you play this pick and roll? What does your day look like on game day? What got you to this level? Tony's lived it for 17 years. He's won championships 4 times. Devonte, every single day to sit next to him and learn from him is just a luxury for us, So I think Devonte's going to dig in on the court with Tony, in the locker room, spend a ton of time, to learn underneath Kemba and Tony. And then, you look at him on the court, he's going to watch Tony every single day, his work ethic. He's going to bounce ideas off him in practice, in film sessions. So this is a big move for Devonte as well.
All right, we're talking to James Borrego, head coach of the Charlotte Hornets, joining us on the Technicom guest line. All right, let's talk about the deal for Bismack Biyombo. You send Timothy Mozgov away and Julian Stones off to Chicago, but you bring back Bismack, a guy who has obviously been here before, drafted by the Charlotte then Bobcats, and he's an athletic guy, still pretty young. He can defend the rim and rebound. Maybe not going to help you quite as much on the offensive end, but how does Bismack make you better?
Yeah, I think, it's the athleticism, a guy that can protect the rim, rebound for us. He's had success here in Charlotte before. He's someone that can still impact the paint. It's probably an area after we made the Dwight Howard move. You look at the holes in our roster, and, he fills one of those areas. So, we expect him to come in, protect the rim, rebound for us, start our break, and we believe he still has some left in the tank there.
How have you, evaluate Miles Bridges through the first couple of weeks here? I like him. There's a lot of athleticism there. Seems like the organization likes the kid a lot, but why was he the right fit?
Well, he's powerful. He's strong. I think the organization liked him. His just winning DNA, just the upside for this kid. He's strong. He's powerful. He's versatile. He fits in today's NBA. He can guard multiple positions. He can put it on the ground. His shooting's only going to get better. And you got to look at the spirit of the kid. When he got here, I didn't know much about him. Never really spent time with him. But as he joined us this last week in Charlotte, I love coaching this kid. He looks you eye to eye. He's engaging. He wants to be coached. He's been well coached. Being in that program, he was well coached. So, we just added another elite competitor to our group. And so far, he's not disappointed. I think he had a really good game yesterday. He's got a high motor and somebody that we believe is going to be a major core piece for us moving forward.
Malik Monk, the kid goes off on Friday, I think 11 of the first 13, finishes with 23. It just showed the kind of burst and aggressiveness and obviously the shooting ability that had so many people excited about him last year when he was taken 11th overall. But, the rookie season probably was not what a lot of folks were hoping for. And I don't know how much you attribute that to him or to the previous regime, whatever, but it doesn't matter. What have you seen from Malik that you like? And what are your expectations for Malik as we get to the season? Do you expect this kid to play a role in the starting five? How do you see it?
Well, the thing that excites me about him is his work ethic. I came in here without any expectations. I said, Malik, you have a clean slate with me. I watched you from afar last year, and you never know what that year looked like for him. But as I've got to know him, spend time with him, this is the guy that wants to work. Ever since I got the job, he's been in the gym at least 4 or 5 days of every week. He's been in the gym working, and I think you saw that in the first game. You saw the work ethic. He looks confident. He's strong. He's versatile. He can really shoot the ball, but I want him to play make. I want the ball in his hands. This is a kid that if he takes a major step for us this season, it changes our, how dynamic a team we can be, especially on the offensive end. There's some defensive pieces he's going to have to work through. He's going to have to get stronger, tougher defensively, which I'm going to demand and hold him accountable to. But he's more than willing. I see a kid that wants to be coached, wants to be held accountable. And, it's a little setback for us, but, we're not going to be deterred by this. He's going to have a great summer, and I expect him to either be, in the starting lineup or right in the main rotation next season.
Well, I would imagine Nick Batum, letting everybody know that he's sliding back to the small forward position. That does open up that possibility, right? It's kind of a logical place to land.
Yeah, we can go a number of ways with that. I believe we have some guards that can fill that spot. Whether that's Lamb, that's Monk. But I think Nick's natural position is a small forward spot. I think he can switch. He can facilitate from that spot a little bit easier. For today's NBA, I think he fits nicely there for us. And I think going back to Tony, having Tony here with Nick is big. We need more from Nick. He knows that. He's heard that from me. And I think having Tony here, his countryman who has been through, some big-time games, some big-time competition, is going to only spark, Nick's desire to have a big season, and we're going to demand that of him.
James Borrego, head basketball coach, Charlotte Hornets, joining us on the Technicom guest line. James, a couple quick things. I'll turn you loose here. And Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, what is his role on this team?
Well, he's going to defend. He's going to rebound. He's going to bring us an edge. He's going to be our energy leader. And those people, those players are valuable in today's NBA. They fill major roles. Every single day he's going to bring it. But I expect him to defend, be a major contributor on both ends of the floor, but especially on the defensive end. The way we're going to switch, stay in front of the ball, put him on the opposing player's best player. And then he's going to rebound. He's going to push the break. He's going to have a role in our transition game. And he's going to play make for us as well. I don't see him just sitting in a corner or standing still somewhere offensively. We're going to move him around and, have some ideas how to use him offensively throughout the season. But he's a major part of our fiber, our culture. If we say we're going to be a team that defends, that plays hard, that's competitive every single night, MKG does that, and he does it maybe as well as anybody on our team.
Coach, I'm sure you're well aware that Kemba Walker will be a free agent after this year, and I'm sure you've had those conversations, not all of which I know you can disclose on the air, but does this organization anticipate having Kemba Walker for years to come? I mean, there's been a lot of speculation and talk about trading him after the season and trying to kind of start over, but to this point, we've not seen that. So what is the expectation for Kemba Walker in Charlotte?
I think right now we look at it as this season is the most important year. I think the future will take care of itself. The biggest thing we can do right now is have a great season, have Kemba Walker pushing, the all-star level again, which I'm anticipating, I'm expecting. He's a core piece. He's the face of our franchise. He's the head of the snake that makes this thing go. And, I think if we align culturally, if we have the season we believe, we are going to have, the future will take care of itself. He's valued in our community. He's valued in our organization. I value him. I see him as a piece that I'd love to move forward with for many, many years to come.
All right, James, last thing. And, you talked about the culture there a second ago. I'm sure you're also well aware this organization has not won a playoff series since 2002. It's been a while. But there are some very passionate basketball fans in this city. I'm sure you figured that out very quickly. They want a winner. They want to cheer for a winner. They want to be there to support this organization. So when Mitch Kupchak hired you to do this job, what was the expectation? What's the organizational philosophy? And what were you told about, the time you have to get this thing built up, turned around, and to get this team back to, something resembling a contender in the Eastern Conference?
Well, there were no expectations put on me. I came in with the mindset, I've been in the league 15 years. I've been in the playoffs 11 of 15 years in my time. I expect to be in the playoffs every single year. That's just my mentality. Coming out of this San Antonio organization, we just expected to make the playoffs every year. That was our mentality. And, that's our mentality here. And our guys are going to push. They're going to be driven. They're going to be held accountable. But, as I said in my press conference, the biggest thing is we want to be relevant in the Eastern Conference. And I don't know what that means seeding-wise, playoff-wise. We just want to be relevant. And I think the city will embrace us. I think our style of play, how hard we play, our culture, the type of character guys we bring in, I think the city's going to rally around us. We need them to rally around us. I think they're bursting and they're ready to go. And they do want a winner. And that's one of the reasons why I was so attracted to this job. So those are our expectations. Our guys are excited. We're building it. Our player development program's growing right now. And, we're just ready to get going.
All right, Coach, don't get mad at me. I sneak one more final question here on you. You mentioned style of play there a second ago. Style of play, culture, all of it. When we turn on the television or when I'm there in the arena this fall, should we expect to see something akin to San Antonio East?
Yeah, I think a little more wide open. I think it's definitely on the defensive end that we're a gritty, tough group defensively. And it always started for us on the defensive end in San Antonio. We had great players, Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, talented players, but it always started for us on the defensive end. So you're going to see a tough, gritty group defensively. But when we rebound, we're going to run. We're going to play with pace. We want to be very efficient. First 5 to 8 seconds of the shot clock. Get down, get a great look. The court's going to be open. We're going to be at the rim. We have playmakers there. And if we don't like that, you should see us finding a lot more threes this year. Last year they shot a really good percentage from three. This year we want to shoot a high percentage, but we want our volume to go up. So, and the last piece is just the ball movement. And I think you're seeing some of that here in the summer league. It's hard to build in a couple of days for a summer league, but we want ball movement where the ball's popping, which is something that I think everybody in the league has seen San Antonio do for many years.
All right, James Borrego, head coach of your Charlotte Hornets, joining us on the Technicom guest line. Coach, been looking forward to having you on. Can't wait to meet you officially, and we'll see you around the Spectrum Center, man. Thank you so much for your time.
Great. Thanks for having me.